Peace, everybody. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Montega show on the big exclusive network. First and foremost, before we get into our topic, I have some news to deliver to y'all. Hey, what's up, Hottie? I see you here right on time. You here right on time. So I got some news to deliver to y'all. This show will be getting ramped all the way up. This show will be getting ramped all the way up. I'm not gonna tell y'all too much, but I'm letting y'all know that my characters that I've introduced to y'all, along with some other characters, will be having a more active role on the Montega show in the big exclusive network. Uh, what's up? I am Wildflower, Miss Carter. Good evening. Welcome. I'm glad you're here early. I'm gonna give people some time to get in, you know what I'm saying, to share and get up in here because what? Big exclusive? What you mean? What happened? But yeah, I'm gonna give some people some time to get up in here and share. Oh yeah, we're making some changes to the Montega show, good brother. Yeah. We're gonna have Brethren being a little more active, Kanye East being a little more active. We got some more characters yet to be announced. You know what I mean? But no, I caught on now. I caught on. But yeah, tag some people, get them up in here because I'm going to talk about how Dave Chappelle is a fraud. Yup. Dave Chappelle is a straight fraud. And everybody out here talking about, oh, he funny. He the GOAT. Ain't nothing he be saying funny, bro. Nothing he be saying is funny. You know what I'm saying? And I'm on one tonight for everybody that's in the comments that want to defend him. Like you know him. Anybody that want to be leader of the Pitchfork Posse, let's go. What's up, Big Roll? Pastor Montega, where the picks? Well, I'm definitely going to talk about that. I'm giving people time to get in here so we can talk about, the Dave Chappelle being a fraud. Good evening, Miss Tiffany Ann. Good evening, Miss Bianca Monroe. Mimi Santana. Hello, Miss Santana. Ooh, Hottie said, I don't like him. Uh-oh. That's what I'm talking about. Salute the resume looking husky. Hey, listen. You know what, Ro? Let me tell you something, bro. First of all, thank you. But I want to let you into something, the way I look at it. This whole thing that we call life is a movie. You really could be what you want to be. You know what I'm saying? You just got to do it. You really could be anything that you want to be. You just got to do it. Lamb it, what's up? Welcome to the show. Make sure y'all share, tag y'all people, because like I said, we're going to talk about Dave Chappelle, a fraud tonight. But yesterday, some of y'all may know, I officiated my first wedding. And yes, I had on the cloak and my face was fully covered. Come on, people. We had 8 shares. Come on, man. We had 8 shares. The Ghost Watchers, I need y'all. Come on, Ghost Watchers. Y'all don't got to comment, but share the podcast. Come on, baby. But yeah, so I was about to say orchestrated. Officiated my first service, my first wedding yesterday. And y'all know I was hard on myself. But the reaction I got afterwards made me realize, like, bro, you was just being hard on yourself. Like, everybody was so pleased. And most of all, the bride and groom was pleased. Their parents was pleased. You know what I mean? And I handled it as a as a spiritual wedding. It wasn't religious at all. I think I mentioned God maybe once or twice, but other than that, I made reference to him as the creator. Thanks, Hottie. Got to get back to work, catch it on the rebound. How you going to ask about something, and as I'm telling you about it, you dip off? For all that, you might as well board me on to your show. So yeah, everybody was pleased with the situation and all that, and then I filled out the paperwork, and then I went to the bathroom. I changed, and I came back, and nobody had a clue. Nobody had a clue. I think it was about 3 people that was like, I knew that was you, or your voice sounded familiar. But yeah, nobody had a clue. So everything went great. And to be honest with you, the standard that I set for myself is far greater than what I did yesterday. And if people was pleased with that, I wouldn't mind doing it again. I wouldn't mind doing it again because I know I'm going to get better. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going to get better. Thanks, Hottie. Good job. It takes experience. Yes, for sure. But dig this. When they gave the speech at the end, I had dipped off so I could get ready for the show for the network and everything. But they gave a speech after I was gone, and my man told me that he let everybody know it was my first time, and they was blown away. Like, they was, you know what I mean? Like, damn, that was his first time. Oh my goodness, that was so beautiful. Blasey, blasey. At first, people was creeped out by my attire though, because they ain't really get it. They like, oh, what's this? Some devil worship stuff? Like, what's going on? But they eventually got it. It was basically like, it's about the couple and nobody else. You know what I'm saying? And you know, a lot of times the priest, the pastor, the bishop, the officiant be all in the pictures, all in the videos, you know what I'm saying? So that was the whole point of me being completely covered up. And don't get me wrong, I ain't just show up like that. I definitely ran it past them and was like, listen, I want to come and be covered up. Is that cool with y'all? And they was all for it. They was like, listen, however you want to do it, do it. Good evening, Miss Bright. Good evening, Miss Bright. But believe it or not, bro, the burgundy, it wasn't red. The burgundy actually matched the setup at the place. I didn't even know that. You know what I'm saying? But it actually matched. Like, even the little draping behind me was damn near the same exact burgundy. So it all ended up working out. And the bridesmaids, they had burgundy dresses on. You know what I mean? Concrete Rose Company is in the building. Shout out to Concrete Rose Company. Shout out to you. You know what I'm saying? We about to dive in. Can we get the flyer up there real quick? Can we get the flyer up there? Meantime, between time, we about to get it popping on this. And I want y'all to feel free to give your input. But the topic tonight is Dave Chappelle is a fraud. Yep. Dave Chappelle is a fraud. How many of y'all got a chance to see the Saturday Night Live special? You can take it down for me. How many of y'all got a chance to see the Saturday Night Live special? His monologue. Put that in the comments. Most importantly, I mean, even more importantly, what did you think about it? Matter of fact, if anybody want to come on right now and discuss it with me, you're more than welcome to come on. Anybody that wants to come on and tell me about your outlook on Dave Chappelle and his monologue on Saturday Night Live, you're more than welcome to come on here. Because I'm telling you right now, Dave Chappelle is a fraud. Dave Chappelle is a fraud. You know what I'm saying? Oh, for sure, for sure. If anybody want to come on, I would definitely embrace you. And we can definitely have a nice conversation. You know what I'm saying? I give a sis. Take that. Take that. You know what I mean? The links is in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to come on, by all means, come on backstage, because I kind of want to get some of y'all outlook on it first before I give my outlook. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, Dave Chappelle is a fraud. It was not worth watching to me, bro. But did you watch it? What was not worth watching it about it? Like, what didn't you like, Miss Hadia? And y'all crowd participation tonight is killing me. Oh my goodness. Y'all killing me. Y'all have a lot to say when we talking about some BS. But we talking about the king of comedy, the GOAT. I don't like him, period. Woo! Yeah, but you still not telling me why. You still not telling me why. That triggers the part in me of when my daughter say, I don't like that, daddy. And I say, how you know you don't like it if you never taste it? You gotta taste it first to tell me you don't like it. And then she go like this. She be like, she put her tongue on it and it be good. And now she want to eat all of mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, tell me, why don't you like him, period? But more in particular about the Saturday Night Live situation. You know what I mean? I'm curious to know. I'm definitely curious to know. Dave Chappelle is a fraud because his jokes are corny and he's very arrogant. Okay. I guess that's your take on it. His jokes are corny. He makes me laugh, but he's still a fraud. He makes me laugh, but he's still a fraud. Did y'all peep the shirt? Yeah. Because what we on black owned businesses, right? We supporting black owned businesses. I made this shirt. And guess what? It ain't Laurent. It ain't Laurent. Warren said Dave is the GOAT. Hey, Mr. Warren, Mr. Cheese, Mr. Cheese. By all means, bro, come on and give me your take on Dave Chappelle. Because I said he a fraud. That's right, Miss Bright. It ain't Laurent, baby. You know what I mean? Why do you say he's a fraud? Oh, I'm definitely going to get to that. I'm waiting for, y'all to get the streams up and to get this engagement up a little bit. You know what I mean? Thanks, Miss Bright. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. It wasn't my idea, but I definitely made it. You know what I mean? But yeah, like I'm waiting for y'all to give me some more engagement before I really dive in, because I actually wrote down some notes for this show. Y'all know I usually just straight go off the but I actually wrote down some notes for this show because I wanted to dive into some things that Dave Chappelle had talked about. You know what I mean? On his Saturday Night Live special. And these things, Big Exclusive definitely know. I'll definitely do my research to come up with facts to try to prove my point. You know what I'm saying? Big Exclusive will vouch for that for me. And no, I'm not talking about football. I'm talking about in general, bro. Like, I honestly don't watch him because a lot of the stuff he touched base on ain't funny to me. That's understandable. It ain't for everybody. But yeah, like Dave Chappelle, man. I watched that monologue probably about 4 times. I watched the monologue probably about 4 times. And okay, we had 19 shares, so it's time for me to dive in. Watched the monologue about 4 times, and I still came up with the same conclusion. This man is a fraud. And people, like, you see Mr. Cheese, like, Dave is the GOAT. And, to some people, he just may be the GOAT. But he's still a fraud. I'm not saying he's not the GOAT. I'm just saying he a fraud. And here's why I'm saying he's a fraud. Y'all remember before Dave Chappelle left and went to Africa, right? Y'all remember that, right? Do y'all remember why he left and went to Africa? Like he just completely left when season 3 of the Dave Chappelle show was about to start, and he went to Africa. Can y'all tell me why he did that? Do y'all know why you think he did it? You don't gotta. It don't gotta be factual if you're not quite sure. But why do you think Dave Chappelle just randomly up and went to Africa? Please tell me, because I think he up and went to Africa because the industry was finally getting to him. I think before he up and went to Africa to sow his royal oats, I think before he up and went to something was uncomfortable. Yeah, yes, Miss Bright. And to your point earlier, Miss Hadia, before he went to Africa, I would completely agree with you that his comedy wasn't for us. I wouldn't say it wasn't funny, but it wasn't for us because I was introduced to Dave Chappelle when I was in elementary school. I used to watch Def Comedy Jam. I was kind of spoiled when I was a young boy up until the age of 12. As long as I had good grades, I pretty much got whatever I wanted. I'm saying that to say I had cable in my bedroom at like the age of 7. You know what I'm saying? And I was watching Def Comedy Jam. And Dave Chappelle said a joke that now I understand is childish, but it had me in stitches when I was a young boy. And he basically was like, Shirley's taking a shit. Like that was the punchline on it, right? Had me crying. So anyway, he was like, yeah, my name's Dave. And then like Robin Hood, Men in Tights. Like I was a kid, so that was my type. You know what I mean? So I was introduced to Dave Chappelle before Nutty Professor. You know what I'm saying? Before Blue Streak. What other stuff? He was in a couple other movies, but those was the funniest to me. You know what I mean? Then you got Half Baked. Half Baked for sure. But anyway, I'm saying it to say I feel like Dave Chappelle was more so for them colored people at that time. But when they realized how much control over him, when he realized how much control they had over him, he had to go. So I'm saying he's a fraud because back then, Dave Chappelle used to tell real life jokes. He used to tell jokes about stuff he was going through. Now, Dave Chappelle jokes about real life. And I'm saying he's a fraud because a lot of people don't dig. These aren't jokes at all. Dave Chappelle is teaching the culture while making them people laugh because they don't get it. He's not a comedian no more. Dave Chappelle is the philosopher that tells jokes within his teachings. So, I mean, I don't hate him though. I don't dislike him. I'm in full support of him. What I'm saying is he's sneakily teaching the culture through comedy. And he's been doing it since he resurfaced. Which is why he's the GOAT. I want to dive into some things that, depending on where your mindset is, may have went over your head during the monologue on Saturday Night Live. I watched some Jewish reactions. Most Jews felt as though the set was anti-Semitic. A handful of Jews didn't find a problem with it. A few years ago, Dave Chappelle did a speech for a university, and he made reference to his mom telling him about being a griot. For those of y'all that don't know what a griot is, it's basically an elder. It was back in Africa when they was using this term, but it basically was an elder teacher, pretty much. And what I mean by teacher is they knew all the history. You could go to them and ask them everything, and they can just tell you all the stuff going all the way back. And if you know your history, you know you can build on it. You can build on things better than coming into things blindly and just, swinging. So Dave Chappelle is very educated. He's very intellectual. The first joke that he said that, in my opinion, went over a lot of people's head was, I got a lot of Jew friends. Hold on. Dave Chappelle puts me in the mindset of Paul Mooney when I think about his comedy. He better than Paul Mooney. Because Paul Mooney, in my opinion, was disrespectful. Dave Chappelle had these people laughing at themselves. Dave Chappelle had the people that he's talking about laughing at themselves. with the exception of the alphabet boys and girls. The alphabet boys and girls, they're going to come at you regardless. But back to the first joke that I feel like went over people's head. He was like, yeah, I grew up around Jewish people. I got Jewish friends. And I can remember wanting to hang out with them after school. And they like, no, we can't hang out. We got to attend Shanana. Shanana? What the? Sounds familiar. I don't know what you're referencing right there, but yeah. Let me know and I'll let you know if I agree or not. But he like, what the is Shanana? Now everybody laugh. Ha ha ha. Blah, 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 blah. But the part that went over people's head was these people assemble multiple times a week and nobody that's not Jew is welcome. These people assemble multiple times a week faithfully. And people who are not Jew aren't welcome. They have no clue about what is Shanana. Oh, yeah. I got blink insert. It does sound familiar, don't it? The next joke. Ooh, rage. Jesus Christ. The next joke that people found funny, but he indirectly was trying to tell you something. He said, why do y'all dress like Run DMC? Funny, right? They wear the black, But it's different types of white Jews, right? You got unorthodox and Orthodox Jews. The ones the ones for real. They got the little curly hair right here and all that, and they wear the hat. Them the ones. Them the ones. You dig what I'm saying? So he was identifying a particular part of the Jewish community, not the Jewish community as a whole, as i.e. Kanye West did. Next up, he made reference to Adidas. And I learned something here when he made the reference to Adidas. It's rage. What he said was, Adidas was founded by Nazis. Who would have knew? Who would have knew? Adidas was founded by Nazis, but they canceled Kanye because of anti-Semitic things that he said out of his mouth. The irony that Nazis will cancel Negroes because they disrespected the Jewish community. That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah. Let me know what y'all think. What y'all think about this so far? Very fraudulent, isn't it? Very fraudulent. People just say, ha, 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 he. And he's teaching. Can we say that almost every huge company has roots in racism, slavery, drugs, and alcohol? I strongly agree. But who's most of them owned by? Who's most of them companies owned by? Because that leads me into something else that he said. That's wild to me. Mimi Santana says, that's wild to me. Yeah. Clear people. Hey. Clear Jews. Clear Jews. Not the Jews that look like me. Not the Jews that look like you and I. The pale skinned Jews. They own a lot of them companies. So, yeah, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, and let me be quiet before the network gets shut down. Hey, listen, bruh. If you know, you know. But here's something else that he said. If you're black, it's a gang. If you're Italian, it's the mafia. But if you Jew, it's a coincidence. That right there was a nice good hook to the ribs right there. If you're black, it's a gang. If you're Italian, it's a mafia. If you're Jew, it's a coincidence. And he followed that up with telling the Jews, you cannot blame black America for what happened to y'all. And guess what? Only one person in the crowd reacted to what he said. When he said you cannot, and go back and watch it for yourself. When he said you can't blame black Americans for the things that happened, everybody was quiet. No applause or nothing. And he said, thank you for the one person that reacted, that clapped. We so stupid. We so stupid. And then, how about this? Y'all familiar with Michael Rappaport? Y'all know who Michael Rappaport is? If you don't know who Michael Rappaport is, he has a very big platform. I ain't gonna say good platform. He's Jew. He started off as an actor, and then he was on like analyzing sports, and now he's not on TV. He's on YouTube because he don't know what to say out of his mouth. But Michael Rappaport, some of y'all might remember him from Higher Learning. He was the white boy Remy. Stop lying to me, man. Stop lying to me. I wanted to be an engineer. I wanted to be an engineer. And remember, it's like, you can still be an engineer. Put the gun down, son. Put the gun down. You can still be an engineer, son. No, you're lying. You're lying to me, man. You're lying. That dude. That's Michael Rappaport. He's a Jew. And he thought Dave Chappelle stand-up was genius. And this part right here that I'm about to say, Dave Chappelle was confirming indirectly everything that Kanye and Kyrie was trying to get across without all the BS. He said, I don't know if you've been to Hollywood. I don't know how many of y'all ever been to Hollywood. But let me tell you something. It's a lot of Jews. I mean, a lot. A lot of Jews. Michael Rappaport said, guess what? He's right. If you ever go to Hollywood, it is a lot of Jews. Well, guess what? They ain't actors, is they? Come on, man. It's a lot of Jews in Hollywood, but they ain't acting. So what you think they doing? Playing Geppetto, my nigga. Playing Geppetto. And a Jew confirmed it. That's wild. Yes, Miss Bright. That's wild. That's wild. A lot of Jews. A lot. A lot of Jews. Mm-hmm. Then he says, thinking Jews run show business is not crazy to think at all. And he's right. It's not crazy to think that Jews run show business. But he followed that up with, it's crazy to say out loud though. And everybody applauded. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, he's legit saying it straight to people's face. But he's sprinkling in some jokes and some humor, and people just sucking it right on up. He's saying the same exact stuff, but people sucking it right on up because he's getting it across through comedy. Here's the kicker. He talked about Herschel Walker. Y'all know who Herschel Walker is, right? Ex-football player, great football career. Now he's a politician, a black Republican, and he sounds just like them people. And Dave Chappelle said, I don't really want to talk about Herschel Walker in a bad way because he's black and I'm black. So let me see how I can say this and get this across. He's observingly stupid. And the crowd exploded. Go watch it for yourself. Now, I didn't take that as him taking a shot at his own people. Because if you've been paying attention to everything he was saying thus far, they didn't get that much of a laugh. As soon as he said something about a black person, everybody thought it was the funniest thing in the world. He called Herschel Walker observingly stupid. He said his face looked like he thinking of a move in tic-tac-toe. He said Herschel Walker's face looked like he thinking of a move in tic-tac-toe. He looks observingly stupid. What y'all think about that? Dave Chappelle is a fraud. He's a fraud. But I'm saying that in a good way. He's genius. In my opinion. What say you, people? Did y'all see these jokes this way? The way I'm breaking them down? Did it come across that way to you too? If not, tell me how these jokes came across to you. Because I know if you watched it, you know exactly what parts I'm talking about. And if you didn't watch it, I hope that you go watch it after this show. It's about 15 minutes long. He did a 15-minute long monologue to open up Saturday Night Live. And you know what's crazy? Somebody on one of my posts, they said to me, they was like, everybody talking about Dave Chappelle, genius, and he's so great and all that, but he on Saturday Night Live making them people money. Y'all stupid. After this, I'm definitely going to watch it. Dave easily one of the best to ever do it, and his social commentary is always poignant. I don't know. I've been having brain farts all day today, bro. Ask Angry OG about the word I was trying to say earlier on the phone, bro. I could not get the word out my mouth, and he just had to tell me like, bro, I know what you're trying to say. What I love most is that he can't be canceled. Facts. Facts. And to me, that's the genius in it all. Because he's definitely confirming some things and teaching some things, but he keeping them people laughing. And like the boy was trying to tell me on my status, he making them people money. But I gave him a different perspective on that. My perspective on him making them people money is this. If he make them people some money and make some money for himself along the way, but he changed the thought process of a portion of the culture, it's worth it. It's worth it. And you know what his response to me was? The same response my girl be giving me. I guess. What you mean you guess, nigga? Huh? What you mean you guess? Come on, player. I thought we was about to spar, man. I thought we was about to spar. You know what I'm saying? So, to end off his special, right? And then I'm going to open up the floor for free discussion because y'all engagement been down. I don't know if y'all watching something else and just got me on in the background, but y'all sucked tonight with the engagement. Anyway, he says at the end, after this special, I hope they don't take anything away from me, whoever they are. Who you think he was insinuating? Most people going to be like, he was talking about the Illuminati. That's what most people going to say. I hope they don't take everything away from me after this special, whoever they are. Who's they? Who y'all think he talking about? Exactly, Miss Bright. Exactly, Miss Bright. He was giving them just enough. Because I know who he was talking about. That's who he was talking about. Whoever they are. There's a bunch of them in Hollywood, right? And remember, I said they ain't acting. I mean, it's a handful of them that act. Don't get me wrong. It's a handful of them. But it ain't a lot of them. It ain't a lot of them. It's a lot of us. It's a lot of colonizers. And it's a lot of the alphabet boys and girls. But it ain't a lot of Jews acting in Hollywood. No, how about this, Miss Bright? You said for sure, he followed the script they gave him. I'm about to give you some insight that some people don't even know about the special. So the writers for Saturday Night Live, when they found out that Dave Chappelle was coming back on for this monologue, in their attempt to furthermore cancel him, they refused to write for him. When I heard that, I was like, you think Dave Chappelle cared that these people ain't want to write for him? They said that like that was a flex. Oh, they bringing Dave Chappelle back? No, we're not going to write for him. We refuse to write for him until he apologized. That ain't no flex. Because guess what? If they wrote for him, he probably wouldn't have got all that across that he got across. I'm just saying. My mouth ain't no prayer book. You know what I'm saying? I could be wrong. I could be. What say you, though? You know what I'm saying? What say you? Because I could name a lot of comedians that if they found out within 3 or 4 days they was going to be on Saturday Night Live and the writer said, oh, we're not going to write for you, they would have struggled. Like he needed them to write anything. That's wild that they think it would or couldn't hurt him or could hurt him. Exactly, bro. I'm like, I wouldn't even let that information out. That is not a flex. That is not a flex. That's an in your face moment because he killed it. He killed it. Even in the different segments that he was in. You know what I mean? And then how about they trying to cancel Ice-T? Because Ice-T was in one of the segments when he brought back the pimps. You know what I'm saying? Now they try and cancel Ice-T because he was in something with Dave Chappelle. Well, first of all, what you gonna cancel Ice-T off of? He's still on that cop show. That show still come on? That cop show still come on? Is he still on that? And if he is, how long that been running? Because I can remember still being in school when that show came on. I could be wrong. I graduated high school in 2002. And I remember that show being on and Ice-T being on it. I could be wrong. It could have been a little after 02, but I remember being young and Ice-T was on that show. It's 2022. 26 seasons. 26 seasons. I've been out of school for 20 years. And this show been on for 26 seasons. So that means it been on since I was in middle school. I know Ice-T wasn't on from the beginning though. He wasn't on from the beginning. He got his hand in a few things, commercials, ads, etc. All right. But all right, now let's take that into consideration. If they take away his commercials and the ads, we talking about Ice-T. He one of the old school artists that still got money. Even now, like what I'm saying is, if you took away his bag today, I'm pretty sure he still got a bag piled up. Now, no, he has been on since the beginning of SVU. Oh, word? I didn't know that. I thought he got added. I thought it was on for a couple of seasons, and then Ice-T got added. But yeah, that's news to me. Yeah, Miss Bright, Ice-T straight. But these people is going after anybody that openly agree or support Kanye, Kyrie Irving, Dave Chappelle, and whoever else speaks against what the Jews got going on. Miss Hadia said, no, he been there since the beginning. Miss Bright says, and his wife got a coin too. Yeah, like Ice-T good. And how old is Ice-T? Where my phone at? Let me Google that real quick. How old is Ice-T? Like, come on now. And you don't never hear it. Like, for him to have been a gangster rapper and a pimp and all that, like, you don't hear him getting caught up in no BS. Like, he might not have been the best rapper. He might have been ass, but at the same time, he did it right as far as I'm concerned. He did it right as far as I'm concerned. Ice-T and Coco. Ice-T is 64 years old. And he from Newark. Come on now. You think he care about getting canceled? That's an old, light-skinned pretty boy. We know how the young light-skinned pretty boys is. That's an old light-skinned pretty boy from Newark, right outside of New York. Come on, man. And they still live in North Jersey. Come on now. Am I over-exaggerating by saying he an old, pretty light-skinned nigga? They got mouths on them. And they got attitude. You ain't, nah, man. Nah. Ain't happening, Captain. Ain't happening. But how about this? I remember back in the day, it was this Rabbi Abe Finkelstein. And he had a video. They was interviewing him on this like news station or something like that. They was interviewing him. It was voice though, like you couldn't see it. It was voice. So they trying to say it was a hoax. Hey, Miss Lucille, how you doing? So people trying to say it was a hoax. But if it was such a hoax, why they take the video off YouTube like 15 years later? You dig what I'm saying? If it was such a hoax, why they take the video off YouTube like 15 years later? Some of the things he was saying about Jews, and him himself was portraying to be a Jew if he wasn't a Jew, if it was a hoax. I'm going to say it like this. He himself was a Jew too, allegedly. But he was saying some things, and all that stuff stuck with me. It made me really start looking at that stuff like, hold up. Some of that stuff accurate. One of the main things he said that stuck with me, though, was if you have a Jewish lawyer, you will win your case if the other person doesn't have a Jewish lawyer. And then you look at these people who money long, they get them Jews to represent them in court. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, he said that the Jewish people, like the Jewish men especially, they come. I'm gonna speak in his voice. Let me see if I can do his voice. He said, "Yeah, and the Jewish man, he goes to America and he breeds with your women and he gives her a couple shekels. Shekels is money. He gives them a couple shekels and the gualam. You're all gualam. You're cattle. You're cattle. And we see one that we want, and we spend a couple shekels on her, and we might marry her. But as soon as we're done, we get us a Jewish lawyer, and we take her to court, and we get our divorce, and she gets nothing." And I'm like, damn. And he was like, basically, if they have a Jew lawyer also, the Jews are ping-pong in court, and being as though the man is a Jew and she's not, he going to get the judgment. He was like, and you Americans, you love diamonds, and diamonds are not worth that much. They're not worth as much as you think they are. Diamonds, you love diamonds. Diamonds are not worth nothing. I'm sitting there like, yo, you don't never see Jews rocking diamonds either. I mean, the modernized Jew black people that want to be blacks, you know what I'm saying? They be trying to wear jewelry and stuff like that. But them real Jews, you don't never see them wearing none of that. And they got a bag. They got a bag. Oh, Miss Smith must have just tuned in because I was talking all good stuff about Dave. But yeah, he was like, what else? Finkelstein. Let me see if I can pull him up real quick. Pull up something real quick. Because it was so long ago since I seen it that I don't remember everything that he said, but he was saying some crazy stuff. Let me see. You was all rowdy. When I was rowdy, Miss Smith. Miss Tanisha Smith. You was rowdy. I mean, color clarity and color has always been important to me. I love a good ring. Let me see. I found some transcripts from it. All right, I'm just going to go through some random stuff that may have said. Okay, question. Haha. It's very ironic because, I never thought I would be able to get hold of somebody who had the audacity to join me on my program live on air. And, I just come out of the program with a retired colonel who is very much of metals on my last transmission on the radio, on my own radio show here, Rabbi Finkelstein, and we discussed the aspect of banking and money in this country. So all the many people who have studied banking and economy, they know that the Federal Reserve is a private Jewish bank. Is this true? Well, yes and no. Well, how much is not it? Well, that is a financial institution for sure. Question. You see, I do not like this. Is the fact that the Jew never knew what hard work, and they never knew. This is interesting, is the fact, sorry, some of this stuff is written crazy. The fact that you Jews just killers of Christ as if there was not. Yes, it's true. We killed him, but he was also a Jew. Oh no, he was an almighty Yahweh embodied in flesh and body. That's the problem you will get. Well, we say to all Gentiles that they worship a Jew and they believe in it. So what's the difference? Like, I could go on and on. I could go on and on. Let me see. Massacre in Palestine and Iraq. You mean usury? Well, very good Jew knows it. Many people, banking families who control money in this. Sorry, I'm just skimming through it real quick. Many people, I mean, that's what makes them fairly large purse, right? Okay. Many people do not understand and do not know that those 7 Jewish families actually control all the money and manage money in this country since 1913. I know that you know about it. A big exclusive. Big exclusive. Are you available to come on real quick, bro? Because you said something earlier, and I want to read this part to you and discuss this real quick. Are you available, bro? If you are, please come on screen. He says, it's absolute. I'm sorry. As you know, we have a very bad problem in our country. There is a lot of outsourcing of jobs and this deindustrialization of the country. You know, the 7 Jewish banking families who control the money in the United States since 1913, Rothschilds of London, Israel Schiff from Italy, Germany, Kuhn and Loeb, the Warburg in Hamburg, Lehman Brothers in New York, Goldman Sachs from the New York City, and the Rockefellers of New York. Many people do not understand and do not know that those 7 Jewish families actually control all the money and manage money in this country since 1913. I know that you know about it. He says, sure. So, I mean, that's what makes them a fairly large purse, right? Gentiles, Goyim, is to do all the work. Look, you know this Goyim and schleppers, clumsy or stupid people. That's what Goyim stand for. See, they do all the work. This is what they want to do. They always want jobs. Thus, we give them jobs to work. Jews do not work. So the Jews do not work, and you are absolutely right. I want to return to the Holocaust, and I want to go back to the Holocaust survivor. You know, this is just a place. Rabbi Finkelstein are more people who survived the Holocaust and receiving money, receiving payments than the Jews who claim to have been killed during the Holocaust. Where did all those people come from? Well, again, you know, they have the evidence. They have evidence that they were there and the Holocaust, so they have the right to receive the money. I'm going to stop right there. Mr. Big Exclusive.
What you trying to drag me into, bro?
I'm not trying to drag you into nothing.
I don't want no smoke with these folks, man.
I don't want to drag you into nothing. But this is not the first time you heard about them people running our money, is it?
No.
It's not too far-fetched for that to be true, is it?
No.
You mentioned a couple of those names of those 7 families earlier in the broadcast.
I did.
Would you like to give your perspective on the money empire and who possibly runs it and don't?
Hey, listen, this is how I feel about those families.
If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them up against the wall. Where handcuffs on.
Did you miss it? My bad. Let me get it one more time.
If people don't like it, if you're being yourself, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them up against the wall. Where
Fuck them up against. So, hey, Miss Bright. Shout out to Miss Tarika Bright and the Concrete Rose Company. You'll be hearing a lot more from her coming up. Hey, little sis Hadia. So it's funny that you should say that, because this week's show on the Big Exclusive Podcast, and I'm not in my normal setup. Right now, I'm at Mastermind Credit Game headquarters, doing some work. But it's funny that this came up, because on the show on Tuesday, we're going to discuss something very similar to this. And first of all, I appreciate you having the cojones to even bring that up and talk about that. Most people try to shy away from that. That's why I'm so hell-bent on making sure that our people understand ownership is key. If you want the power to leverage what they're able to leverage against us, meaning jobs and money, then we got to start to understand the power of our dollar and our money and the way we move and shift the culture. And I'm going to stop right there. I'm going to save it for the Big Exclusive Podcast, Tuesday nights, 7 p.m. sharp. Come holler at your boy. You're not going to want to miss this. Pop, I am going to invite you to join that conversation when that topic comes up. There's some key elements that we need to understand as a people. Most people always ask me, BE, why are you working so hard? Why do you work so much? Why are you consistently building bridges and trying to bring Black folk together? Black folk don't never want to come together and do nothing. I don't know. At the Big Exclusive Network, it looks like we doing that exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I work so hard, because I got a vision. I see. I know what it takes. You don't have all the answers. I don't. What I do have is commitment. I have the commitment to educating myself and educating my family. Big Exclusive Podcast don't have fans. Big Exclusive Network don't have fans. We got family. If you fuck with us, it says here it's 13 more people in here. You family. Okay?
Peep this, right? Before you leave.
Got you.
I wanted to read something to you because
Okay.
I want your reaction, right? And
Okay.
it's a couple of questions and answers, but it's about 9/11. And it's from that conversation that I just said was had with Rabbi Abe Finkelstein.
Okay.
Here's the question, right? And you know, I'm gonna do the voices and everything. All right, here you go. Let me ask you. This is very interesting. The war in Iraq, which took place after an alleged attack on the tower in 2001, and in September 2001. This alleged war, a very interesting. In these towers were no Jews. Can you explain this? You see, there's a spiritual in the powers where many Jews. There's a spiritual in the towers where many Jews. Many Jews died in the towers spiritually. The guy says, oh, I see. It was 3,000 Jews who were not at work that day in those towers. It's just created the impression among many people that the Jewish population were in New York, knew that something would happen, and they did not come to work that day. He says, yeah, we got a call from Kailila. That's a community, a quasi-state authority in Jewish community of the Middle Ages. That Ariel and some of the boys from Mozart, they come together and They did the wiring in these buildings, and they had stocked them. It was pretty hard for them to cover in any event because we wanted to build a number of new structures in New York, and buildings are aging, and it's time to fill them. Thus, we make a few shekels, destroying the buildings. Oh, Silverman was a good friend. They have Larry. He received a 2 for. He got 2 for 1. He doubled the insurance as if by magic just 3 months before it happened, and he got a double benefit. Oh, it's so he made 4 times its money. I had to be involved in this transaction. He asked me, but I said, "Oh, I think I have to think about it." It took me too long to think, so I think about it, and they said to have pulled the plug and initiated the buildings. But at least I got to market, and I sold American Airlines. I sold United Airlines. I sold insurance company Lloyd's of London. Because of them, it was a big hit. The insurance company Alliance, I sold them too. So I made a few shekels. What you think? And you know you know what they said about how them buildings really came down, right? It was maintenance men in there a few weeks prior to it. I mean, before it happened, and they was wiring up the buildings. And then you talk to some people that survived, and they said when the planes hit, they felt an explosion from the bottom.
But to what end? Like this? What's the question? Let's start there. What's the question?
It wasn't a question. It was just, what do you think about what I just read right there? Do you think that they're capable of pulling something like that off?
The
Or do you
Jewish
think that that's
community?
BS? Yeah.
Yeah. I think everybody is capable of that sort of thing. Do I think that's the case? No, I've seen enough evidence. I've seen enough evidence that leads me to believe that those planes were responsible for those towers coming down.
No, the planes definitely was. They definitely was involved. But go ahead, I'm
Yeah,
listening.
even with that, I think we have enough evidence that says that the people who were responsible were responsible, in my opinion.
Right. Now, you know that war go ahead.
The
I'm
war,
sorry.
what?
That war that's being manipulated over there with those people, that's the same war that's been going on since biblical time. And you know who they say behind it?
Who?
You Gualum, you just don't get it, do you? We make shekels off you all.
See here. So this is the thing, right? And for me, shout out to the Rabbit Hole 13.
Shout out to the Rabbit Hole 13
at 9, because I just started this reference, bro. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Got you.
Here's the thing. Here's where I'm at with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is as honest and as transparent as I can be. I don't care. I just don't care.
Even though they control the money?
And here's what I'm saying. They control the money for a couple different reasons, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And what we need to understand is there are books that are written that we can pick up right now. 48 Laws of Power, The Art of War, and it's another book. I'm not going to give that book away. I'm going to save that book for the podcast.
Can I give up one?
Yeah, for sure. Go ahead. Mastery. Was that Robert Greene, Mastery?
Yep.
48 Laws. So here's the thing. What I'm choosing to focus on is trying to be that I forget the reference, but I'd rather focus on getting us to understand legitimately the level of power and influence that we hold over this whole country, over the economic structure, period.
Can I ask you a question based on that?
They want you to believe you poor. They want y'all to believe that y'all poor.
I got a question for you.
Go for it.
For us to get there as a culture, do you think part of that is our culture being informed who is in power and how they are in power for us to understand how we are relinquishing our power?
So yes, but that's got to be a footnote. We can't focus on that, right? Because what ends up happening is we start to create these psychological barriers about warfare and the way it works. When ultimately, bro, it's no reason we have to be at war with them.
No, we don't got to
They
be at
don't have
war
to
with
be
them.
our enemy,
No,
right?
and that's not the case. That's not the case.
What we have
But
to be wary of is how they like to manipulate.
exactly, that's what I'm
Like,
saying. The
yo,
information is
Brother
important for
Brown
our
said
culture
you
to
can't
know.
manipulate me no more, my dear. You can't manipulate me. But
It's important for the culture to
understanding
know
is
this,
key. See,
right?
most people, when we start to talk about this understanding, this change, everybody wants to make it confrontational. And I keep telling people these folks been whooping our ass with this pen for the longest time. And we
And that
keep trying to fight the pen with anger and rhetoric.
that's where I'm at with it, though. Right there at that point that you're talking about. They've been kicking our ass with the pen. You dig what I'm saying? And you have some people that have been trying to inform them on how they're kicking our ass with the pen. But being as though this is, and using your word, uses a footnote instead of us diving deep into it, a lot of the culture look at it as just a conspiracy. And they just think things are as they are. And they have that mindset that you just said that they want us to have, that we're
Hey,
poor.
that's okay. It's easy to manipulate those people into our way of thinking. Then, like the point is, what we have
How?
to do, because listen. Some shit for some people, you can't make it complicated, bro.
No, what I'm
You
saying
have to,
is how is it easy for us to manipulate our people into doing it this way when we've been trying for so long? Not you and I in
bro.
general. I'm just talking about
Here's
it's
the
been
thing:
people that's been trying for so long.
if you lead off by telling them something that you know they not gonna believe, because let me ask you this: for all the knowledge that you have and you carry, right? How realistically, be transparent for a second, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you felt like you've carried this knowledge and this awokenness or wokeness that you have to what's going on behind the scenes, right? How long you feel like you've possessed that knowledge base?
Um, it's hard for me to answer that question. I'm gonna answer it as best I can, and I'm gonna say
Because
that
it's forever growing, right?
right. And I consciously started trying to obtain it about 15 years ago.
Boom. Out of it now, we're gonna start at 15 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
How many people have you tried to awaken with this knowledge that you currently possess?
I couldn't even give you a number, which is why I'm
Cool.
using the tactics that I'm using now.
That's okay.
Right.
That's fine. My question is, during that journey from
Mm-hmm.
15 years ago to today, how hard was it for you, like in this moment right now,
Mm-hmm.
how hard is it for you to recognize who wants the information and who doesn't want the information? Am I going to
Um,
take my time or I'm going to waste my time?
um, hopefully I'm answering your question when I say this. I've learned that you have to deliver the information to people different ways. You dig what I'm saying? Um, What I will say is a lot of people who resisted the information, a lot of people who used to be like, oh, you a conspiracy theorist, or that's crazy, what are you talking about? A lot of those people now reach out to me for that type of information because they remember certain things that I brought up years ago that make sense to them now in the days and times that we're in. So it was very frustrating back then, and I learned from that to teach who seek. You dig what I'm saying?
Again, those who want to learn will seek.
Right.
I don't want to waste the time to try to, because you can tell somebody all day, if you don't understand where you come from, you have no clue of where you're going. Right. Or you repeat those mistakes. If you don't know your history, you're doomed to repeat it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the rhetoric I'm trying to come from, like, yo, this is the new wave. Our people, if we don't do nothing, we're going to jump on the new challenge, the new dance, the new trend, and the new wave. I'm just changing what the wave is. The wave is ownership now. The wave is entrepreneurship.
I don't disagree with you at all.
The wave is keeping your money in your pocket. So after you tell them this is the wave, some people want to know, well, why is this the wave? Oh, you mean to tell me we all got great credit? We all qualify for this, that, and the third for these funds, and yeah. You mean to tell me it's this amount of buying power if we just So wait, you mean to tell me if I'm in business, because they're not looking at you as an individual. They're looking at you as numbers on the page now.
Thank you, Mr. Rice.
And if the banks are in business.
So I'm in full agreement with you. You dig what I'm saying? But
Mimi, you bet. You don't know your past. You don't know your future. And exactly. And what I'm saying to you is, I'm not wasting time on the people who don't want to know what the past is.
No,
that's taking out time away from the mission. The people who want to know, go find the information.
That's what I asked you was, you know, important for them to, like, all right, you said you want them to catch on, like, oh, this is the wave, right? Why is this the wave? This why is the wave. But the proof to them that this is why this is the wave is because, and this is just what I was just saying earlier. This is what they've been doing all this time, and this is why they have the power that they have, because this is what they've been doing. Like, I really feel like telling them the history on that is a big part of convincing people that this is what we need to do.
I'm not looking to
I feel like that's a big part of that, bro.
Bro, I'm not,
because our people. You're not looking to change the mindset of the culture?
Why do we need to convince them that this is great for them, right? Because ultimately,
no, I'm saying changing the mindset of the culture.
Bro, we ain't gonna do it with talking. We can't.
This is a part of it. Teaching is a part of it. Teaching what other cultures do is a part of us getting our stuff together.
Bro, you talking about generations. Show me some significant sign of that working. Show me some significant event.
That's my point. It's something we haven't done
since the civil
everything
rights
else
movement.
Haven't worked. That's what I'm saying,
bro. I'm searching for an example.
That's what I'm saying. There won't be an example because we never tried it this way. We tried it all the other ways.
What, talking and about?
No, see, y'all saying talking, and I'm saying teaching. Talking, just saying talking is just like running your mouth.
Teaching what? What are we
teaching? Teaching how this group of people is so successful is by keeping it within their community. This is what we need to do. We can't just flat out say, Let me finish. We can't just flat out go to the culture and say, yo, bro, this is what we need to do in order to be successful right here. I got the plan, la, la, la. Our people, we got to approach our people like, yo, this is what they doing. This is what they doing. We can do it too. They got to see examples of it working for them to buy into it, bro. And I'm not saying convince them, but some people don't know. Some people don't know. And if we're teaching them, we got to teach them everything. You're better off showing it with like-minded people. I understand that. Yes, I'm in full agreement with that. I'm in full agreement with that.
Well, Pop, I'll respectfully disagree. I don't think that works because I feel like there's been running jokes since the fucking 70s about hiding stuff from niggas and putting them in books, and we perpetuate that rhetoric and laugh about it now. It's jokes about that shit now. I think people nowadays, they respect action about that action.
I agree.
They want to follow the trend that works because they have to see success. Because you trying to teach them, like, bro, we've all seen and grew up. We did Roll Show one day, and you said we was kids, right? And you said we learned early on about Jewish people being stingy and tight with money and saving money and having all the money. Well, ultimately, nobody, it never clicked in any of our minds to say, yo, why do they have all the money? Or wait, why are they so stingy or so tight?
That's what I'm saying. So let's use that to tell them. Let's tell them why.
No, because those people, see, Pop, you can say, you can sit there and say, yo, this is what they doing, right?
Right.
This is how they're successful. They did this. What's a part of their success? You talking spending money with their own. You talking group economics. You talking kind of building the pseudo fortresses around their community, right?
Right.
They all trusted each other to make those investments in each other. Name a nigga that's just gonna blindly give you some bread, bro, and say, yo, this is group economics. I'm telling you, this is where I am based off my experience, right?
You know why they do it in private? Everything that you're talking about, you know why they do it in private?
Why?
Because if we seen it, we might get inspired to do the same thing. That's what I'm saying. We could be the ones that tell our culture, this is what they're doing. This is what they do behind closed doors. This is how they obtained all that.
Listen, we can run the experiment, bro. We can run the experiment.
Let me ask you a question. Can I ask you a question?
You do it your way, and
that's what we're teaching. Bro, we building right now. Don't do that. Don't do me like that.
No, what I'm saying to you is, I don't think you understand how much time you waste trying to show them this is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. They're not trusting their own. You can sit there and say, all right, these set of people do this over here. This is what we should be doing. This is why they're so successful. When you bring it back to our people with the mentality that we have, everybody gonna think you trying to beat them or get over them. You can waste a lot of time trying to teach those who will never learn. Build with like-minded people and create a culture and community you build. If others follow, great. If not, your community is built. This is what I'm saying. We jump on trends. We jump on waves. If we see that Poppy got the formula, shout out to the formula, Wednesdays at 8 p.m., hosted by Angry OG. If Pop got the formula and it's working, and he inviting us into the community, well, clearly we gonna follow because it's working. He got the method. He got the understanding. He got the knowledge.
Right.
They'll quickly follow. You showing them, again, I don't understand why. No, I do know why our people is this way. Because we just used to being burned, bro. We used to being paranoid. We still see ghosts of our complete history.
Right.
Today, the Big Exclusive Network was supposed to be a group economics project, bro. I told you the story and what happened with that.
Yep.
This could be an obscene amount of money and revenue generated. When I say obscene, I mean obscene.
And they didn't follow
suit. Lot of those people who wanted to be down don't even support the network now.
Right.
Why is that?
My answer is going to be what I've been saying the whole time. Because
I didn't teach them?
No. Well, not necessarily you. Not necessarily you. But you decided to take action. You dig what I'm saying? But at the same time, you, whoever else, wasn't telling them how this is going to be beneficial for you, how you can learn what I'm doing and duplicate it for you. You said that, right? But they didn't see examples of that working from other people from us. This is how our people are. And I'm not disagreeing with nothing you're saying. To me, what I'm saying, in my opinion, is an add-on to what you're saying. I agree 100% with everything you're saying, except for one thing. And that one thing is that it's a waste to try to teach them. You dig what I'm saying? Now, let me tell you where my ideology to that came from. My way of thinking to how I got to that point. I use music as an example. You dig what I'm saying? Looking at hip hop. Early on, when hip hop was born, even into about the mid 90s, how many of us owned our own music? How many of us owned our label? Not many, right? I'm not going to say none, but it wasn't many at all. And a handful of rappers, I'm not going to say one just at all. I'm not going to say just Nas. I'm not going to say just KRS. I'm not going to say just Jay-Z occasionally when he tried to put it in there. But a handful of them started saying what others was doing and how it was translating over to us, like how they was using us. And then they took action along with saying that this is what they're doing as far as owning your stuff and getting the corporations and company. That's the point that you're starting from. You dig what I'm saying? You're starting from right there with the action. They gave the information along with the action. And now look at hip hop. You dig what I'm saying? There's a whole, don't get me wrong, it's some of us that's still getting butt raped. It's some of us that's still signing our soul away and signing them deals. But it's also a lot of us, a lot of young people in the culture that own their music, they own their companies, they own all this stuff just like they heard the Jews do. And it took time. It wasn't something that happened overnight. It took time for it to happen. But a lot more of the culture is doing it now. And I'm just saying, I feel like the culture decided to start doing it once they found out that's what was being done, but not necessarily by us. I will agree, it's not a total waste to teach. Just be mindful of the time you put into the opposed to actually building. It's hard to both at the same time. True. I definitely agree. Now, I'm also in agreement
Meet
with
me
you
at
with
lunch.
some people just they're going to be casualties. I agree with that. Some people just going to be casualties, and some people going to have to be casualties because some people, it don't matter what you show them, they just set in their ways, and they're going to be a disservice to what the culture is trying to do. You dig what I'm saying? But you have some people that who mind work like mine. You dig what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, all right, you telling me this going to work, but yo, can you tell me how? Fine example. I was working at the dealership earlier this year, right? They pretty much fired me. Well, they didn't even fire me. They manipulated my money for 4 or 5 weeks straight until I quit. But their angle was he wants to know too much. You dig what I'm saying? My thing in that dealership was I could do every job there. I could fix the cars, I could clean the cars, I could sell the cars, and I knew the specs on all the cars. So I kind of was ahead of everybody else, even though I just got there. You dig what I'm saying? The only thing I couldn't do was finance. And in that office, it was all Jews. Now, when I would come in there with the applications and stuff, I would try to stand behind the desk and I would ask questions and they would get mad. I was just trying to understand how to play the numbers, but they took it as me trying to basically see what they got going on. That's how they protect how they do things. That's how they protect information. Don't get me wrong. It's some of us that know how to do finance. But how many of it, you got to pay me no, bro, if somebody really wants to learn how to do it and like, I'm not saying give it to everybody. Conversation like you and I had, I'm not going to get into detail, but you was like, bro, I couldn't tell multiple people this because I know that they not going to follow through. I only can tell certain people that's going to follow through. That's the same thing with that. You know what I'm saying? The people that going to follow through, sometimes you got to offer them that information so they can level up. That might be the last thing they need to take action. Like a conversation we had earlier. You gave me a perspective on something with my show. That was all I needed to take action. I was always capable of doing it, but I didn't see it that way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong at all. I think everything you said is definitely important and a part of it. But some of us need to see an example of another race being successful doing exactly what you're saying we need to do to say, oh, that's what you mean. You dig what I'm saying?
So,
teach one,
so
Mr.
I
Him.
think I
Yes.
think I think where you losing me at is when you keep relegating the argument to another race. When I feel like we got examples as a people ourselves of success on almost every level
Yeah, but we
possible.
don't have a successful culture. You dig
Yeah,
what I'm
we
saying?
do. We do. We just don't see that's part of the problem. We have a very successful culture, right? We just don't realize it because we are allocating all our resources and our money elsewhere.
And that's where I disagree with you. I feel like we have a lot of successful people within the culture, but the culture as a whole is not successful, bro. Now, I don't believe that every Jew is a successful Jew, but I believe the culture as a whole is deemed successful. If
You
they
don't
wasn't,
think
they would.
we successful as a culture?
I believe there's a lot of people in our culture that's successful, but as a culture, we aren't successful, bro.
Yeah, I'd respectfully disagree with that.
Okay,
I'm thinking where we came from to where we are now. I think
we're
I think a
obtaining it.
lot
We're
of us
definitely moving towards it.
I think a lot
Yeah.
of us get caught up in the universal rhetoric in the United States. That's another thing. That's another thing we never take advantage of. Uh, there are places outside the United States,
Oh, true indeed.
but I think we don't understand the leverage that we have as a community. And I keep saying this, like if you want to affect change, and I would say to you, Poppy, hit them where it hurt. Where does it hurt?
Mhm. Finances.
What do you
Finances.
think? What do you think our impact on this economy is?
Oh, we have a very large impact on this economy. Very large impact.
What do you think our economy is on every other culture? What do you think our economic impact is on every other culture and on business?
I feel like we pretty much hold their culture up to the financial status that they have within the country, at least.
Yeah, I think we underestimate our power as a community. I think
No,
we are very successful. I think we don't know how to
this is what I mean by
hold on
success.
to that success.
This is what I mean by successful. What I mean by we not successful as a culture, because I don't disagree with nothing you just said. I don't disagree with nothing you just said. What I mean by we aren't successful as a culture is in the sense of what we was talking earlier as far as ownership. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, we a lot of cash go through our hands as a culture. A lot of cash go through our hands. But how much do we own as a culture? We don't
So
own much as a
so
culture compared to other cultures. Go ahead, I'm listening.
that's what I meant. We did 2 episodes ago.
Right.
I asked the question, can black people truly cancel somebody?
Mm-hmm.
Do we actually have the resources
I
to
believe so.
cancel somebody?
I believe so.
Do we have the resources to cancel a company?
I believe so.
Do we have the resources to cancel a person?
I believe so.
Do we have the resources to cancel a professional league?
I believe so.
Now, what I'm saying to you is, why haven't we done that?
Because a lot of us don't have the information on how that's going to work for us. That's
I think a lot of us put our own self-interest first.
fine example. I was having a conversation.
Self-preservation is first.
I agree. I was having a conversation with my homie about a week and a half ago, right? And he came to me with the same entrepreneur story that we all have gone to somebody with. Yo, I started my own clothing brand. I've been being consistent for a few years now. It's my own designs. We making it all that, me and my homie.
Mhm.
And nobody supporting, bro. Like none of my family, none of my friends. Don't get me wrong, it's people that buy here and there, but like it's not like the stuff is corny. It's like nobody support, man. Our people this, our people that. Da 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 da. And it dawned on me when he said it to me. It dawned on me a response to give him. And it was like, damn, I was saying it to myself too. I said, bro, look at the Asian community. Who do they sell to? And this is similar to what you're saying. Who do the Asian community sell to? Us.
True.
Look at the white community. Who they sell to? Us. The Jamaicans and Africans. Who they sell to? Us. Not saying that their culture don't support them too. But the bulk of their money that keeps their businesses going is them selling to us. You look at the Chinese people. Who they sell to? Us. I said, bro, I really feel like where we messing up as a culture is we're marketing to us. We got to market to them. They market to us and we spend our cash on them. Some of their people still support. We market to our own people and get mad if they don't support. That's not what they're doing. I feel like that type, like we have to share that type of information because that type of stuff will give certain people that aha moment, like, oh shit, yeah, I have been beating it down my friends and my friends list and all that. I need to go try to, like, they'll start thinking bigger because how can we have the opportunity to sell to them? That's when you got people that's trying to get their clothes in stores now and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't gonna come to my Instagram page. Like, you know what I mean? We start thinking bigger as a culture because you got the information. So that's why I definitely agree with you. But at the same time, I really think it's important for us to show examples of how it's working for other cultures, because majority of our cultures are followers, bro. And they not followers of our own people.
Yeah, I said that. We wave hoppers, bro. We jump on the wave consistently. And I think as far as it goes to marketing it to other cultures, again, you have to see some examples of success when it comes to that. Where's the first place? Huh?
Go ahead. I was about to say the success is they do it to us. Because a lot of these people, they try to duplicate what we do,
bro,
right? They try to duplicate our styles and stuff like that, right? I'm just playing devil's advocate real quick. They try to duplicate our designs, they try to duplicate our styles, they try to duplicate all this stuff, right? And a lot of these people say we're unapproachable and this and that and this. In my opinion, that could be why they're copying us, because we're not marketing to them and they scared to approach us to ask, can I have some too? So they just try to mimic it and they cash out off of it, and then we go buy it off of them.
I think you're missing a fundamental piece to that argument, right?
Okay.
Let's just give me an example of what they selling to us.
Weave.
That they marketing to us.
Weave.
Weave?
That's an example.
Okay. Let's take that example. Let's run with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they market weave to who?
Pretty much black women.
Nah, they don't.
I ain't say wigs. I ain't say wigs.
Nah, they don't market weave to black women, bro. See, again, it's a fundamental chain of reaction.
Tell me who they marketed to first, and then explain it to me.
They're not marketing it to black women. They're not marketing weave to black women, bro. They setting universally what's acceptable as beauty first. Who sets that? Who dictates that? Who dictates what's beautiful, what's trending, what's considered nice hair, good hair? Who set that up? Who started that whole wave?
I'm just waiting for you to tell me who they marketing this weave to.
They don't need to market the weave to black women. Black women go out and find the weave. It's black women who
they don't have to go far, do they?
No, because it's in our neighborhood.
Exactly.
It's close. It's accessible.
Exactly. That's a part of marketing.
But bro,
it's like the liquor stores being all through the black neighborhoods. That's like Chinese stores being on every corner. That's like Puerto Rican stores being on every corner. It's not commercials for them.
Why
It's not
though?
commercials for them, but
Why
that's
though?
marketing to us
But why though?
because we spend the money with them.
They say we poor, we fucked up, we destitute, we did like. Why? Why are they there? Because we spend the money.
Exactly.
So what I'm saying to you is, in my example, and ways to remedy that, keep your money in your fucking pocket.
And let's market to other cultures.
Like, yeah, you can market it. Like, give me an example of marketing to other cultures. Like, what are we selling to them?
Our black-owned business products, whatever it is that whatever service it is that you offer as a black-owned business. Gay men run the fashion industry. That's why the female models are so skinny. White people pay 10 times more for weave than black women do. I don't know where that stat came from.
So,
but I know black women cut off their hair just to go buy weave and a wig to put back on their head.
But here's the thing, though. Like, you got to explore why that is. Why do they feel like they need to have bone straight yaki or virgin?
No, listen, I agree with you, bro. I agree with you as far as the beauty. I agree with you as far as the beauty aspect of it go. I'm not saying I'm not disagreeing with that, but I do stand on the fact that they market to us. Other cultures market to us, and we don't market to other cultures. We market to our own culture, and then complain about how we don't support each other.
Pop, I never directly accessed Facebook geo targeting ads and differentiated black from white. Never.
That's you, bro.
Never
That's you. How many people in our culture even know what a geo Facebook ad is, bro?
So how many?
That's what I'm saying.
How many people in our culture believe in marketing? Period.
They don't believe in it because they don't know nothing about it. They don't have the information.
Why?
Because the ones of us that learn it and figure it out, we try to sell it to everybody else, or we try to keep it hostage.
Pop, let's stop.
From everybody.
Hold on, let's stop that rhetoric right now, bro. Like that, you killing me. That's the second time you did that.
It's true.
You blaming people for not sharing information.
I'm not blaming nobody. You asked me a question and I gave you an answer. I'm not blaming nobody. But we are selfish as a culture, bro.
You just said because the ones who got the information won't share it.
All right, let me rephrase that then. Because evidently something about that triggered you. So I could get my point across. Other cultures are selfish with the information to our culture. They share it within their culture. Our culture is selfish with the information within the culture. We try to make money off of it within the culture. That's what I'm saying.
But I don't see one problem with that, bro. I don't see one issue with that. Not a one issue with that. Not one. First of all, I'll dictate who I share the information with, right?
No, I get that. I'm not saying
don't share the thing, though.
I'm not saying share it with everybody, bro.
That's what you just said.
No, I said we don't share. I said
in the culture.
Yeah, within the culture, not to everybody in the culture, like you just said. Somebody in the comments, like-minded people. If somebody come across you, let's say 10 people come across you. I'm gonna use you as an example, right? Let's say 10 people come across you,
right?
And they interested in starting their own network.
Okay.
Right? Now, I don't know how you feel right now intellectually as far as the information you know to get to this point, but let's just say you was 5-10 years in now, you know what I'm saying? And you had about 10 people that hit you up. Of course, it'll probably be more than that, but you got 10 people that hit you up and want information on how to start and build a network. I'm not saying you need to do this. What I would do, right? Out of those 10 people, somebody's going to connect with me. I could be wrong, but somebody's going to connect with me and I'm gonna be like, yo, this one is really trying to do this. And
how would you know?
You don't know.
It would be a feeling, a vibe.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you're wrong. You dig what I'm saying? Sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're right. But you may be we interact with people, and some people just give us that feeling that, you know what? Since you serious about doing this and you already doing this and doing this, let me give you the game on how to get that from here to here. Are you going to offer that to all 10 people? No. But what I'm saying our culture do is they won't even offer it to that person that's they know is serious because they seen.
There's no way to tell if they're serious, bro.
No,
Everybody presents differently, right?
what I'm saying is no, they serious in the sense of we help people that's already trying to help themselves, right? So if one person come to you and they just like, hey, Big E, I want to start a network and and this is what I want to do, and I want to set up like this, and I want to set up like this. Can you give me some game on it? And you say, well, you got any cameras? Like, no. You got a laptop? No. What about your phone? I mean, I got a phone. All right, you got a phone. You could use that and already like at least start. You dig what I'm saying? That type of person approaching you is like, I don't know if that's really what they want to do. Now let's flip side it. Somebody come up to you, yo, Big E, I got a mic, I got a control board, I got a laptop with a terabyte a terabyte of memory to add on to it. I got lights and like I know how to record myself, but like your network, you be having like the runners across the bottom, and like you be having people from different platforms and stuff. That type of person that's already have all that stuff and they're already trying, in my opinion, is serious. That person I will offer information to. The person that came to me that's saying this is what they want to do, but they haven't even been making an attempt to do it, I'm not going to offer the information to them. And if they keep pestering me about it, yo, it's a course on it. Here go how much the course is. You dig what I'm saying? But to hold that across the board is selfish of us because other cultures, they just give the information within the culture. That's why they have more success, in my opinion. That's not discrediting nothing you saying. In actuality, in my mind, that's adding on to what you're saying. Because I agree with everything that you're saying, with the exception of we just got to do the action. I feel like we got to do more than the action. I feel like we got to have the conversations.
Bro, just speaking to that scenario, listen, it's something I practice as is already, right?
Right.
Like we have clear evidence that you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
There's very clear evidence that I give up the game. Only thing I was saying, Pop, is you have to be careful with that rhetoric. People spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and sweat equity to get in position and to get the knowledge. A lot of people think they can just be lazy, buck the system and buck the line because we black, he's supposed to give it to us. And in that scenario, those 10 people, all right, come on, intern with me for 6 months or 3 months. Come on, intern with me for a week, 2 weeks. Now, the first scenario you gave, you're going to have to earn it. You're going to have to come intern, work for nothing, show me you super serious. Dude who already got it built in, laptop, he need this. Let me really see how serious you is. Come work for me for 2 weeks for free.
Right.
Intern, I'm going to show you some things.
I see our disconnect now. I see our disconnect now. I'm using you as an example, but I'm not talking about you. I know that that's what you do. You dig what I'm saying? I know that you're open to offering information.
No, but I don't understand that. Feel like
what I'm saying is, as a culture, we aren't doing that, bro. As a culture, you see how you said, bam, like it might be a move that got to be made as far as getting syndicated, right? I don't know how you got the information on how to get it done, but you got the information and you got it done. Well, you're trying to get it done, right? If somebody come along and ask you, how can I get my situation syndicated? I'm using you as an example, but I'm talking about the culture. I feel like you, right, would handle it exactly how you just said you would handle the last scenario I said. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they serious, you're going to try to benefit off of it too, as far as the network go. Like, come on and do this over here and I'll give you the game. You know what I'm saying? That's your way of paying me. It don't have to be finances. Now, everybody don't get that type of offer. But because of what you got going on in your setup, and of course the vibe too, this is what I'm going to offer to you. You know what I mean? And this is how you can compensate me. Just show up on time, learn this, do this. You know what I mean? Flip side. Are you going to do that for everybody? No. Now, people in the culture, majority, won't even do that, bro.
You know what's wild about this conversation right now?
What's that?
You basically expressing discernment when making that decision on who to help. I was making the argument about discernment when I was saying who you should worry about teaching. Right? It's funny how that goes, right? Because each topic spoke differently to us, but it all leads back to discernment.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening is we as a culture have to use more discernment when it comes to everything we do. We can no longer rely on some Martin Luther King-esque figure, Malcolm-esque figure. Those days are gone.
I agree.
We are moving into a realm where it's going to be super important for us to understand what's happening in the digital realm.
And how do we understand it? How do we get the culture to understand that as a whole?
And we gotta, first of all, number one, we have to get the kids. We have to get the kids. We have to get the kids. But more importantly, we just gotta lead by example. Because here's a funny experiment. I'm super excited to see if we can even pull this shit off somehow, somewhat. But Killer Mike did it on his show. He had, I forget which network it was on, but Killer Mike did it where he built his own community with its own government, and for like a week straight or something like that. It was so good, so good. And I would like to do that experiment. But see, the angle in which he approached it, he modeled it after what currently exists in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
I say nay. I say we don't need those rules.
I agree. Destroying and rebuilding. I definitely agree with
blow
that.
the whole shit up. And
I definitely agree with that.
And see, the one thing we would have to understand is discernment is going to be key. Because what's important to Poppy is not going to be important to Lisa, Mr. Hem, Beads of Life, Ahmed, me, you. But what we all can hang our hat on is that the goal is this.
What's important to Poppy is everybody getting as much of the information as possible and being shown examples of it working. That's it.
What end? To what end?
Huh?
To what end? To what end? What's the end goal?
You said what's what?
What's the end goal?
The end goal is for once we get the information out there and we show examples of it being done, people within the culture start having that aha moment and start duplicating it. I'm saying the same thing, bro.
You not, because you Pop, what you saying is these people, these whatever, insert whatever race, religion, creed you want, insert blank is doing it. This is how we gotta do it. It's not. That's their way. That's their way. Each person is doing it differently. I'm saying we can create me on break again. It say, I will say on social media, Black folks are sharing all type of information rather through free game, ebooks, classes, and various other ways. A lot of us are building together in small packs by farming, buying real estate, living off the grid, and all. That's what I'm talking about.
And I strongly agree with that.
Hunter Black, I'm feeling this. Yes, but I think I don't. when you their recipe is their recipe, bro. I don't.
And that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it
I'm
works
not
for
saying
them.
copy. I'm not saying copy. Of course, we're gonna have to alter some things. You dig what I'm saying? But
Right.
if we're like, let's say, for example, let me think of a good example to use as far as what I mean by them. I'm gonna go back to the same example as far as the marketing, right? Let's just say, where do they place these stores? You saying we spend it because it's in our neighborhoods, right? To put stuff in their neighborhoods, granted, it costs more money. It's more real estate. You dig what I'm saying? But how many of us attempt to what's that?
You just made an excellent point. To put it in their community is more money. Why do you think that is?
No,
It's called redlining.
no, I
That and
understand
they're
that.
whooping our ass. But go
I
ahead.
understand that. I understand that. So let's take people in higher up in the culture, the celebrities, i.e., that have that type of money, right? Even them, when they do what they do, they market it to black people. That's my point right there. It's not in
Why?
disagreement to anything that you're saying.
Why?
Why? Because they're doing everything that they're doing. You dig what I'm saying? They're following their formula to the T. What I'm saying is put the information out there to our people what the formula is, so they'll be more of a believer and more of a supporter of what we're trying to do. You dig what I'm saying? Am I saying do it step by step exactly how they're doing it? No, but some of those things that they're doing, we are going to have to include because it's going to affect us being tight knit. It's going to affect us supporting. I was listening to KRS One earlier, right? And you know what he said? He said, and I agree so much, and I'm pretty sure you're going to agree too. What he said was, we don't need laws. He said, we don't need laws. We really don't need policemen. Don't get me wrong. We are where we are now, but just in the grand scheme of things. He said, you know what our culture needs? And I'm like, shit, I want to hear this. Principles. He said, if we had principles within the culture that we all are going to abide by and hold each other accountable for, a lot of this stuff would cease. That's something that's being exercised. I can't say it come from, but it's being exercised in other cultures. They have principles of do's and don'ts, and they hold each other accountable for that. Now, if we try to just pull that off within our culture, you know how most of us is. I'm like, what? Who you think? No, bro, I'm not. Da, da, da. So we also would have to give examples of how that's working. That's all I'm saying, bro. It's not nothing against what you're saying. I completely agree. I completely agree. What Poppy is saying is important to Poppy is also give the information. You can't just do the action because of where the culture mindset is as a whole. Not necessarily you, not necessarily the people that Arthur Brent Johnstone is talking about, because I strongly agree that that's going on within our culture. You know what I'm saying? But these people that's pulling the strings, they don't show that. How much media do we own? You dig what I'm saying? That's what I meant by we. Don't get me wrong. We're doing it now like this. It's on a smaller level for now. We're taking advantage of what actually was, in my opinion, supposed to destroy us. You know what I mean? I feel like the internet was supposed to be something else, and we turned it into another thing. You know what I mean? But at the same time, go ahead. What you about to say?
It's just another example of the power we have, and
No, and I'm in full agreement with you. Like I said, I'm in full agreement with you. The only thing I'm saying is
so
our people not gonna just follow you because you doing it, bro. Especially if they don't have no insight on how you're doing it. Because our people will want to do it too. And because they scared to approach you and ask you, they become an op. When they low-key jealous and want to do exactly what you're doing. That has something to do with mindset within the culture, bro. That has something to do with not necessarily you, but that has something to do with when we do go up to our culture, like, yo, bro, I like this and that and this. How do you do? Man, if you don't got my face, a bull came up to me all dick eating and da-da-da-da. That has something to do with that. Now, dick eating and all, that's a Philadelphia thing, but as a culture, that's how we act towards each other.
And I'll make this my final question.
Yes.
What could we learn? Because we going to definitely kind of continue the conversation Tuesday night on the Big Exclusive Podcast, 7 p.m. But I think where I get lost at is Mimi woke up. I think where I get lost at is nuance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I always think about I liken what you're saying to relationships. It's kind of where it's put me in mindset of. And I keep feeling like, and I've said this on our podcast many a times, every relationship between two people, it's its own organic, breathing, living thing.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot look at Poppy and his lady relationship, Big Exclusive and his lady relationship,
Right.
Arthur Brent Johnstone and his wife and their relationship, and think that y'all all can have that same type of relationship where it's one thing because they all talking amongst each other.
I agree.
What I try to get people to understand is that every relationship, it's its own unique thing.
I agree.
What I feel you're saying is correct in the sense that those foundational things need to be there. Like in a relationship, you got to have communication, right?
Right.
When we talk in culture, we got to understand nuance and the power of politics, which I don't think we respect. Because politics are the ones that got the pen that be whooping our ass, right?
Right.
So now you think about a relationship, you think about the 5 love languages and whatever that is to whoever. Right. You got to understand your culture going in.
Right.
Then there's nuanced culture across the country when it comes to being black and brown.
Mm-hmm.
And to avoid trying to maneuver through all the minutia of street politics,
mm-hmm.
and vernacular and language, the way it changes across the country, what's the universal language?
Love.
For
but
you,
can I give a rebuttal to what you were just saying about the
universal
relationship?
language is what?
Oh, well, currency.
And what else though? You math you understand across the fucking globe.
That's because
math
we didn't
is the
create
same.
it, we discovered
it's universal no matter what.
That's because
everybody's gonna understand math and understand the numbers. So that's what I'm trying to get at.
Now, can I give a rebuttal to your example? Because I agree with what you just said.
Go ahead, bro.
My rebuttal to your example is this. Communication, like you said, in the relationship. The difference is I'm going to communicate with mine different than you're going to communicate with yours, different than he's going to communicate with his, different than he's going to communicate with his. You dig what I'm saying? What I mean by getting the information out there is, bro, you got to communicate with your girl. Some people don't know that until they see examples of it. You dig what I'm saying? But they need the examples and the information because they may see it as, oh, he be simping to his girl, he be this. And it's like, no, bro, that's how I got to communicate with my girl. You got to find a way to communicate to your girl to get your point across. It's not going to be the same communication as me.
That's the disconnect. That's the disconnect right there. You feel the need to have to explain. I don't. It doesn't make sense for us to have to explain those nuances to people who not ready to take action.
I get what you're saying, bro. You taking it personal instead of looking
at. I'm not taking it personal.
I'm speaking about the overall culture.
The culture overall, we just don't respect talk, bro. We just don't. We just
I'm not saying talk. You keep downgrading what I'm saying to just talk. I'm saying information, bro. Exchanging information is different from talk. Like what we're doing right now. We're building. We're building. What's going to come from this? what's going to come for this is people in the comments. They're going to start thinking a different way. They're going to start having different ideas based off of something you said or based off of something I said. This conversation in front of people, because nobody's wrong. You dig what I'm saying?
No.
But this conversation in front of the people that we're having right now, this is what I mean by these conversations have to be had. Somebody's going to get information from seeing these type of conversations. You dig what I'm saying? This is getting the information out there. We can't just say, all right, like somebody said, well, you got to be around like-minded people, this and that and this. Okay, what we was doing was having these conversations amongst each other. Not you and I'm talking about in the culture. We're like-minded, so we were just having a conversation amongst each other. Now we're on a platform. We're having the same type of conversation me and you have on the phone.
All the time.
You dig what I'm saying? We're having the same exact conversation that we have on the phone, but at the same time, look how many people may be obtaining information from it. You dig what I'm saying? And that to me is very important. We can't just you can't just have your network and this is what I'm doing. I'm big exclusive. I got my network. I got all these because somebody is curious to how they can do it too. And they're open to working with you for free to get the information. Everybody's not going to do it. But somebody is, all I got to do is volunteer and you live 3 blocks away. I'll come over there and do it. You know what I'm saying? It's all about the mindset of the culture.
Mindset. Yeah.
And I feel like in order to change the mindset of the culture, we have to be more open to share information. Not necessarily the game, but information like this.
So you had said something about KRS-One and the principles. And Hunter Black said something. I wanted to make sure you got to that, bro, because I thought that was important. Hunter Black said our principles have been whitewashed. We
must become self-efficient. Whoa, glad I tuned in. I need more of this. See? And in my opinion, his one comment supports what you're saying, supports what I'm saying, and it supports the overall scheme of things. You dig what I'm saying? Because evidently I'm doing the quotations because of what we're doing right now. Woke. You dig what I'm saying? But what I mean is he knows some shit. You feel me? But at the same time, let's use you and I as an example. We know some shit. How hard is it to have these conversations with people, bro? You know what I'm saying? Our people need picture books.
It's just hard for me, Pop. It's just hard for me.
But and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you have to do it.
Here's what I love, though. Here's what I love, though, about this whole situation, right? It should be a fundamental escalation to where we're trying to go, right? So it's people who will need the picture books. And when we recognize that, yo, Pop got the picture books, bro. Go in there, hang with Pop, get that education. He in class one, he picture book 101.
That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying you in particular.
You can come over to Big Exclusive 101 to get about that action, boss.
What I'm saying is, in the culture,
you ready to get your pockets and that financial right, go holler at my man Ahmed Fareed. You see what I'm saying? It should be an escalation.
Yes.
Right? But
within the culture, we need all that. Now, you don't have to do what I do, and I don't have to do what you do, but it's both needed.
The overall fundamental key is like-minded people coming together to accomplish the one goal.
And I never disagreed with that. I never disagree with that.
So it's established.
I'm just saying,
the picture books.
Say that again.
I said you can show them the picture books. I'm going to just walk.
And some people built like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some people built like that. Some of my peers watched Power Rangers, and they used to play Power Rangers in the hallway. That didn't do it for me. You know why it didn't do it for me? Because I was actually taking Kung Fu. You dig what I'm saying? When Power Rangers came out, I had been in Kung Fu for 3 years. So everything you mimicking, I actually know how to do. It never was a big thing to me. But you could take somebody else that's in Kung Fu and they will love Power Rangers because of what they're doing. I understand it's different strokes for different folks.
Right.
But at the same time, the information has to get out there. We cannot hold the information hostage. Now, Yes, you can lead by example. This is my strong point. My strong point is motivating people. My strong point is putting information out there. My strong point is challenging what you may believe or what you may think. Not to say that you're wrong, but for us to compare information, because I just may learn something from whoever I'm talking to. But
Right.
in my defense, I'm going to stand on whatever I think I know at that time until you prove me different. Not talking about you in particular.
No, you right. And on that note, I'm gonna get out of here with this final word, right?
Yes, sir. And then I'm going to wrap it up.
Them fools is coming back in 2024, and they got a new leader, and he just tried to weaponize the word woke. So all I'm gonna say is, Black folk, family, community. I don't know where that rhetoric came from, that voting and your vote don't matter or it's not important, or somebody sold you some shit about the electoral college because we had an anomaly. I need us to start to get control of the pen. And I know it's not going to happen maybe in my lifetime, but just think about this for a second, right? Critical race theory is off the table because they said it teaches hatred, separatism, and racism. It indoctrinates children into racism. It makes white kids feel bad. And they coming after the word woke. Ron DeSantis just tried to weaponize the word woke.
Mm-hmm.
He said woke is where, he said Florida is where woke comes to die. Now, Democrat, Independent, Green Party, for the love of God, please understand that voting is important. Legislature can only get done, the laws can only be changed if we have people who represent us in that House of Representatives, legislature.
That's not completely starting our own thing, though, bro.
Huh?
If we're going to start our own thing, we got to completely abandon the government and everything. We got to start from the ground up. We got to build our own situation. We got to stop participating in that, man. To do what you talking about.
So we saw examples throughout history what happens when we do that, right?
So indeed.
So what we got to do is start growing some politicians, bro, to go in there and shake some shit up. And
within their system?
There's no way to be it. Listen.
We was talking about black ownership, bro.
And we still talking about black ownership,
not
bro.
participating in their system. We got to completely abandon their shit.
So paint that picture for me.
Paint that picture for you?
Paint that picture for me.
Everything you said earlier.
I do remember Greenwood. I remember Black Wall Street. I remember countless other communities.
And I agree. I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not
without impunity. Without impunity.
I'm not disagreeing with that. They were also building those communities within this government system. And let's keep in mind why all those things happened to those communities. It was working. All those things happened because it was working. So what I'm getting from you, correct me if I'm wrong, what I'm getting from you is being as though every time we try to separate from them and do our own thing, they come in and wreck shit and tear our shit down. Let's try to be successful within what they're doing. No, bro. That's not control.
You still ain't paint no picture, bro. But what's that look like?
Because you had cut me off when I was trying to paint that picture. You asked that question, then you started saying some other stuff. What that looked like is this. Everything that you said, especially stop spending the money with them, especially that, on top of a new government. That's the only thing that we haven't attempted to do as a culture. We attempted all that other stuff. I heard what you said about Killer Mike, the example and all that, but I'm talking about as a whole, as a culture here. We need to destroy and rebuild from the top to the bottom, not just within their system. Because if we do it within their system, guess what? Guess who's still in control? That's what he been saying the whole time, Ms. Waller, and I'm in full agreement with that. That's what Big Exclusive been saying the whole time.
Bro, I still ain't get the example. How that looks, how that works. How do we burn it down to bring it anew? But I digress. I gotta get out of here, bro.
All right.
I gotta get out of here, bro.
I'm about to say my final. I gotta give my rebuttal, and I'm gonna end it too.
Thanks for having me on, bro.
Thanks for coming on and starting the conversation, because I did not intend on it to go here. So yeah, I appreciate Mr. Big Exclusive coming in. He always challenges me. I will give him that. That's why that's my bro. You know what I'm saying? That's my bro, because he always challenges me. You know what I mean? And one thing I get from my brothers, not just Big Exclusive, but I'm speaking about him in particular right now. One thing I get from the challenge is I become a better communicator. I become better at articulating what I'm trying to get across. So when people who don't stand as strong on the things that, we was just talking about, it's easier for me to get my point across versus sounding like a conspiracy theorist. This was awesome, Poppy. How do we get in touch? Send me a friend request, good brother. Send me a friend request. I'm very approachable and easy to get in contact with. My name is the same name on all platforms. You know what I mean? And we can definitely build. You know what I mean? The final words. And it's not to take anything from what my big bro just said, because I'm not saying that it's wrong as far as the voting. But when we look back at these examples of voting, because I personally stopped, I'm going to put it to you like this. I stopped voting after Bush got elected the second time. That's when I stopped voting. And the reason why I stopped voting was because Bush had a lot of dead people who voted for him. That's fact. That's proven fact. A lot of people got up out their grave and went to the voting polls and said, I want Bush to be the president again over John Kerry for my ancestors. I voted for John Kerry, and am I certain? No, because I didn't count all the votes, but I feel like John Kerry won. And a lot of people feel like John Kerry won, which is why Bush needed the recount. And remember those votes that got lost and all that? Yeah. So I started researching certain things, and I'm like, this isn't the first time that this happened. In Big Exclusive defense, though, I will say lower level voting counts. Lower level voting does count. I'm talking about from the governor down. You dig what I'm saying? We have control of that, and it counts. Anything above that, they handle all that. It's the illusion of inclusion. You dig what I'm saying? It's the illusion of inclusion. So, yeah, our vote accounts for the lower level things. It's similar to policing. The actual lowest level of an officer is a sheriff. All these cops, they're public servants. That's why they show up to court as a witness. You dig what I'm saying? Like, we got to start learning the ins and outs of all this stuff so we can be self-sufficient as a culture, so we can build and have our own ownership. Bush used to be the motherfucker I love to hate. True. So with that being said, I'm going to run through some things real quick. We went overtime today, but I feel like it was definitely a great build. The engagement definitely started coming in, and this was a real good situation. This is the Poppy Montega show. I'm sorry, why you ain't tell me I was too close to the camera? This is the Poppy Montega show on the Big Exclusive Network. Make sure y'all tune in from Monday to Friday every morning from 9 o'clock for Keeping It Real with Big Roll, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., sometimes until. Tuesday nights, we have the Big Exclusive Podcast hosted by Angry OG, Big Exclusive, and comedian Top Flight every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Wednesday night, we have The Formula. This comes on at 8 o'clock, hosted by Angry OG every Wednesday at 8 on the Big Exclusive Network. Following up, we have at 9 p.m. The Rabbit Hole 13, hosted by Taj Mahal, Bianca Monroe, and they call him Mr. Cheese every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Then following up on Thursdays, we have Foreplay with B every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Also, if you're a Philadelphia Eagle fan, make sure you tune in every Sunday at 10 a.m. for Philadelphia Eagles Game Day Special, hosted by me, myself. Sometimes we have appearances by Big Roll. Sometimes we have appearances by Angry OG. And we're hosting together. We also have some new hosts that's on, Miss Key Holmes and Mr. Jamal Jackson. Make sure y'all tune in each and every Sunday for that if football is your thing. With that being said, I'm Poppy Montega. This is the Poppy Montega show on the Big Exclusive Network. Make sure y'all stay tuned for the credit video that's coming up right after this show. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next week, I'm out.